YouTube, what is going on, and welcome to the 12th episode of my Futheads Hybrid series. In today's episode, we are going to be doing what we always do in the series, going through 4 hybrids on Futhead, one under 15k, another under 50k, another under 150k, and another over 200k. This also will be a special episode as I am throwing in another under 15k squad. Both the squads under 15k are copied with 1 or 2 changes right in here, so this squad is a perfect 20k, no bad players by Schwarzengo, and I did change it a little bit to get down to 13k. It's still a very solid squad. We start off with the attack of Entep, Biuve, and Berardi. This is a very solid attack. I like both wingers. One has 4-star skills in Entep, but Berardi unfortunately does not. Berardi is better at some of the more stats that you would consider more class, like shooting, passing. Does have a little less physical, but he does have the same dribbling. They're very similar players, as Berardi has 4 less pace, same dribbling, 2 more shooting, 1 more passing, and also 3 less physical, and 4 more defending. So they're really similar players, but Entep does have 4-star skills and a little bit more pace, so he is a little bit used more. Biuve is the striker with 89 pace and 80 dribbling, along with 78 shooting, so he is a really solid option. He does have 4-star skills as well, so that's a very solid link for Biuve and Entep. The midfield is going to be Verratti, Parolo, and Felipe Melo. Verratti is a very solid card with 68 pace, 87 dribbling, 83 passing, and also 78 defending. So he is a very solid card for an 84 rated midfielder. The 2 central midfielders are Felipe Melo and Parolo. Both of them are in the plus 70 club for the normal card, which is very solid for midfielders. So they're basically good at everything, but not great at anything. Now we go into the fullbacks for the squad, and they both get the nation links, so I like that. Mariano gets a Brazilian link to Melo and Gabriel, while Crescito does get the Italian link to Ogbonna and Verratti. And we start off with Crescito, who does have 82 pace, 75 dribbling, 79 defending, 77 physical, and 73 passing. While Mariano has 83 pace, 78 dribbling, 73 defending and physical, with 74 passing. So they're 2 pretty similar fullbacks, Crescito being a little bit better in most stats though. The center back pairing is going to be Ogbonna and Gabriel, with the goalkeeper being Pantilmon. This is a very solid center back pairing and also goalkeeper, as they both have above 70 pace, above 82 defending, and above 76 physical. So they're 2 very solid center backs. Pantilmon's a very solid goalkeeper, and overall this squad looks really solid for 15k. You've got pace up front, you've got skills up front, and the midfield is very balanced overall. Now we go into the second under 15k team of today's episode, so a little bit of a special one, and we get this one from Wilmer Pop, as it is What More Do You Need, number 1. And this squad is Nani, Gutierrez, and Carrillo up front, so 2 5-star skillers up front on the wingers, with Gutierrez coming up front for Sporting. Gutierrez has a very solid card with 80 dribbling and shooting, along with 74 pace. The 2 wingers both have 5-star skill moves and are very similar players, with Carrillo being a little bit faster, but Nani having a little bit more dribbling. The midfield is very solid with inter-teammates Guarin and Kondogbia, and also Souza. All 3 of these really have solid physical and solid defending, so that would be a strength of this squad, having a really strong midfield with 88, 83, and 80 physical respectively. It's not the slowest midfield either, as 66, 70, and 79 is definitely decent, and it's also pretty balanced, as the lowest stat between anyone besides Kondogbia's shooting is 67, or 66, his pace as well. So that's really solid as well. The fullbacks are solid. Erkin, as I mentioned in the last episode, has a really solid card going forward and defensively. Montoya is the same thing with 76 on all of the right sides, so that's really solid. Phil Jones and Smalling is your center back partnership, so a decent center back partnership. Smalling has been playing absolutely fantastic, but unfortunately for United fans, they did lose today to Bournemouth 2-1. So Eddie Howe's been doing a lot of good things with Bournemouth beating United and Chelsea in the past 2 BPL games, so really solid for him. But let's get back talking about FIFA, about Jones and Smalling. It's a really solid center back partnership. Smalling's a little bit faster, a little bit better defending, but Jones is a little bit stronger. Jones is only 6 foot tall, while Smalling is 6'3", so Smalling looks like the better center back despite the rating. And Pantilimon in goal, I believe I used him in the last episode, so you know about him. Actually, I used him in the last squad. But we do go into the third squad of today's episode, and this is the under 50k team, and We start off with the strike force of Liverpool and Belgium teammates Christian Benteke and Divock Origi. They're two very solid strikers. Benteke is more of a strong player with 85 physical and 81 shooting, while Origi has 4-star skill moves and 85 pace and 76 dribbling. So two very different strikers. I think they would complement each other very well. And the midfield is going to be Çalhanoğlu and Thomas Müller are your two cams. They're two very solid players. Müller does cost a lot more than Çalhanoğlu and has a much better card than Hakan, but they are two very solid cams and should do the job for your team. The CDMs are Sven Bender and İlkay Gündoğan. We are going to start off talking about İlkay Gündoğan as he is more of a central midfielder than a CDM, but I think he still will do pretty well at the central defensive midfield spot because he does still have 72 physical, 63 defending, and also 82 passing. Bender is your more natural CDM with 82 defending and 81 physical and only 73 for dribbling, pass, and 76 for passing, along with below 70 for pace and shooting. We now go to the fullbacks, which are Erkin and Beck. Beck isn't a great player, but he was needed for chemistry. He does only have 74 pace, 74 dribbling, 76 defending, 71 physical, and 71 passing. While Erkin has a very solid card, 84 pace, 80 dribbling, 75 defending, 76 physical, and 78 passing. Feel like I've been using a lot of players from the Turkish league the past couple episodes. Kaya and Şedu, the Galatasaray teammates, are your center back pairing, and they both have very solid cards. Şedu is a little bit better in every area. 1 better pace, also 3 better defending, and also 6 better physical. Ikesen is a very solid goalkeeper, as he rounds off the squad very well, and the squad looks very solid. For 36.2k, it does look to have all the things you need to be a very solid squad. The next squad that we're going to be looking at is the under 150k team, and this team is Lacazette, Fekir, Benzema up front, so a really solid attacking lineup with Benzema being probably the best striker from France, but Lacazette definitely has something to say about that, as they're both two of the best strikers in the game, and both French, they get a really solid link. Fekir is going to be your cam, gets that perfect link to Lacazette, and he has a very solid card this year as well. And Nzonzi and Modric is your midfield, so two pretty different players. Modric with 89 dribbling and 84 passing, while Nzonzi does have 77 defending and 83 physical. Tremolinas and Carvajal are your two fullbacks, and Tremolinas is pretty solid going forward, as is Carvajal with 78 and 79 dribbling respectively, and also 71 and 79 passing respectively, with 81 and 85 pace. So two pretty solid fullbacks going forward and defensively. Your center backs are 3 Brazilians in Miranda, Marquinhos, and David Luiz. So 3 really solid center backs. I think they will definitely do the job for your team, as they both have all 3 of them have over 73 pace. All of them over 82 defending, and the physical isn't the best, but they still are pretty solid, as Miranda is 6'1", Marquinhos is 6 foot, and also David Luiz is 6'2". Neto in goal is pretty solid as well. We are going now into the final squad of today's episode, and that is going to be the over 200k squad, and this squad looks very solid, as it is in form. Aubameyang up front. Thomas Müller is your center forward with Mkhitaryan and Pedro. Aubameyang is the fastest player on the game with 97 pace. Müller, spoke about him earlier, has a very solid card for a cam or center forward. Mkhitaryan and Pedro are 2 very solid wingers, with Mkhitaryan being a little bit faster with his inform and also a little bit better dribbling, but Pedro does have better shooting, and these 2 are just very solid. They both have 4-star skill moves and 5-star weak foot, I do believe. Yes, they do. And the midfield is very solid, but very different for the central midfielders, as Cesc Fabregas has 90 passing and 81 dribbling, while Philipp Lahm has 87 defending and surprisingly 85 dribbling. That looks really odd on his card. I would definitely think it'd be lower than that, but Lahm is much better defensively, as I mentioned, with 87 defending compared to 64 for Fabregas. The fullbacks are Dani Alves and Jose Gaya. Gaya has a very solid card and is another player from this week's Team of the Week, along with, I believe, Aubameyang is from this week's Team of the Week, or Mkhitaryan, one of them, along with Gaya. So, the Liga BBA is the whole back 4 for the defense, as Gaya and Alves both have very solid inform cards. Sergio Ramos and Marc Bartra get the Spanish and Liga BBVA green link, so they're both 2 very solid center backs. Bartra has a very solid card with his inform and inform Iker Casillas in goal. This team looks very solid. The one thing I would say is the midfield isn't too strong with 65 and 66 physical for your two center mids. But this squad looks absolutely fantastic, and that will wrap it up for this episode of my Futheads Hybrid series. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and also subscribe for more Futheads Hybrids and other FIFA content.